It is with a magnified will that you will really contribute to giving birth to the company carried out. And that is this company carried out? It is a society in which love is the only rule in human relations, and still the only rule in relations between men and nature. I am not saying that you will give birth to this society alone, but I say that you can help implement the dynamics that will lead to birth. But the true craftsman of his effective training and his effective consolidation will necessarily be men and women to the sublimated will, and who will hold in their hands the reins of conventional power. Because it is with the power to redefine laws, rules, and norms, and to impose the application, that we build and that we deconstruct the workings of society to be born. The company produced does not need any dreamer. Admittedly, you have learned to love the idea of dreaming, because it seems to you that this idea gives you wings. But never any dreamer has accomplished whether it's important. Only those who set goals and who work ardently and intelligently to achieve them realize their dreams. They realize them not as dreamers, but in thoughtful workers. So yes, to be born, society carried out does not need any dreamer and any rebellion, and it does not need the protester and the activist anymore. These figures are functions which participate in immature society, the one that was the world of yesterday and which is still there. World of today. Even if you like the idea of small and modest, the idea of simple and humble, know that love requires grandeur and strength, and know that the company carried out needs to have a chance to be born really, of men and women of excellence, capable of mastering the realization of the wonders and the accomplishment of exploits. At the smallest level, contribute toTo give birth to the society carried out is to become yourself an incarnation of unconditional benevolence. 'Tis to say an incarnation of love. Without a magnified will, how would you be able to gain height and to immunize against the vertiginous wealth of the different forms of aggressions that you will not fail to undergo in your interactions with others? And without a magnified will, how could you remain faithful to the desire to nourish any form of animosity towards anyone? If you do not try to defend a smooth image of yourself, you will recognize yourself that you succumb again and again to them. Temptation to feed some form of animosity towards this one or that one, because this or that, and the more you justify this animosity, the more difficult you are to dissolve it in yourself. Do not underestimate the strength of will which is necessary to really embody love, that is to say, unconditional benevolence. Love is the ability to bring light to the other, and only light, without anything else in your heart than the pure joy of bringing light. If that weighs you internally in, that you have to make yourself violence, even a little, in order to put a little light in what you bring to the other, is that you are not yet in love, not even a little, because there is no degree in love.You can be at times in love, then find yourself unable to keep you there, but there is no degree in love, either it is love or it is another thing, which is therefore not love, perhaps politeness or hypocrisy, perhaps duplicity or some strategy to be well seen. To embody love, you must magnify your strength of will. And without that, you may dream that you are in love, but the smallest examination of your social relationships will show that you may not even know moments of grace in which you might be really in love. What is love? It is the inner arrangement to bring light to others when you interact with them. And it is the ability to do it with a pure heart, without troubled rear and without troubled back emotion. Maybe import who can get there for rare moments in his life. But it takes a magnified will to settle there permanently. And understand that it is a question of bringing light. But the light is not necessarily pleasant for those who receive it from the most fragile places of its emotional nature. T, the intermediate level. To help give birth to the company carried out, you must have sublimated at least a major competence. And you must be in the dynamics to allow as many people as possible directly or indirectly from the expression of your skill in unconditional benevolence. I'm talking about competence, That is to say, competence or talent or capacity. And I speak of major competence because the one who excels in medicine research has a greater value from the point of view of gestation of the society carried out than the one who excels in scoring football goals. The one who excels in the power of his magnetic care and his magnetic stimulus on others has a greater value than that which excels in pop music. The one that excellent in the competence of psychotherapist, in his office and in his books, or in his videos, has a greater value than that which excels in the profession of mentalist. The process of gestation and the prospect of development of society carried out have veneered the work of men and women of excellence, who have reached the sublime in a major competence, and who are able to exercise their competence in total benevolence. Now, without a magnified will, no one can reach the sublime within a major competence. And this is the reason why most people are moving towards minor skills, confusing the financial profitability of the exploitation of a competence with the real level of importance of this competence of point of view of the development of society towards a state of achievement. In addition, there is a virtuous circle between will and major skills. Having a magnified will allows you to ensure that you can reach them sublime in a major skill that you are trying to master, and in the other side, working seriously and courageously to develop a major competence at the highest level. This has the effect of developing the process of gradual magnificent your will. The magnified will ensures you reach excellence when you are looking for excellence. But the realization of excellence also magnifies your will, when it is, obviously, a major competence. At the higher level, to help give birth to the company carried out, you must first have magnified your will. Then, as a magnified man of will, you must make sure to have conventional power. That is to say, to be an influential political leader, or to be an eminent degree of power, which works outside the spotlight. There are things that you will not be able to do if you do not have the necessary conventional power. And there are things that you will not really be able to influence if you are not a grey eminence sufficiently powerful behind the official power. Remember that, in the perspective of the society carried out, to be born and to consolidate, they are not dreamers that need, but men of action petrous of benevolence and pragmatism. That you act at the smallest level, simply embodying love in your social relationships. Or at the intermediate level, by radiating a major skill that you have mastered to the sublime. Or at the upper level, having conquered conventional power. It is always the magnified will which is the basis. There is a supra-social level, which requires that you have sublimated your will. Because the sublimation of active will in you, psychic reading and psychic influence capacities, which allow you to act in society with power. By directly influencing the emotional and mental structures of individuals and groups. When you have thus become a sublimated man of will, you can act more effectively than ever to help give birth the company carried out. A beauty of the laws of energy development is so splendid that you can aim to reach the sublimation of your will, even if you are not even able to contribute to the smallest level in the perspective of the company carried out to try to reach the sublimation of the will. You do not need to have first achieved unconditional benevolence, or to have first controlled a major competence, nor to have conquered power first conventional. You only need to work with persistence and intensity in the development of the strength of your mind, and therefore to the development of your strength of will. It does not matter if you have neither unconditional benevolence nor major skills sublimated, nor conventional power. Because in absolute terms, it is the sublimation of the will that counts the most, and you can look for it, whatever your starting point. It is as a sublimated man that you will be the most capable of helping to give birth to the company carried out. This is why if you are keen to be able to really contribute to giving birth to the company carried out, you must work at the center of your life for the development of the strength of your mind.